Okay.
Well, you asked for it, so here it is. Normally I would not make a video like this. I try to keep it fun and silly here. Most of my footage for Dark and Darker I deleted a long time ago, but I realized I still had a folder of old footage I overlooked. Make no mistake, I have no plans to play anytime soon. That being said, I figured, why not take this opportunity to explain why I quit? I'll play it to clips, that way those of you with broken attention spans don't lose your mind. Full disclosure, if you are still enjoying the game, that's great, but you may not like what I have to say. I want to be clear that I used to be one of Iron Mace's biggest supporters. I was there through the cease and desist. I did the hold the line thing. I bought the coffee. This is not baseless hate for Iron Mace and the game out of nowhere. With that all said, let's begin. First and foremost, the lack of content is a pain point for me. I begin to feel like I was making the same videos over and over. The stuff I make is usually made to be what I would want to watch. But after so long of the same 3 maps, the bad PvE, the same abilities, I became very dispassionate towards making videos on the game. Don't get me wrong, I did make attempts at making different forms of content. I recorded footage of roleplaying as a homeless naked priest, and that was fun for a while, until teaming was bannable anyway. But it didn't make for a very interesting video to me. I recorded footage of pickpocketing people, stealing all the loot off a ranger, stealing loot from people in High Roller, but that was already overdone and not interesting to me either. The nerfs to Wizard made it increasingly unfun to play, and there's only so many times I can make a video out of holding W and left clicking as melee. Don't even get me started on how boring melee is to play in this game. When I watch streams of people still playing, Dark and Darker still has not changed much in over a year. One new map, mostly reskinned mobs with some new ones, same old bad AI, one new class, still no quiver after over a year. Like, really guys? Still no quiver? Really? Still no quiver? Really guys? In fact, let's talk about that new class. There has to be something legit wrong with the devs to think that running through shut doors was a good idea. I look at the game now, and it's full of warlocks and druids being near impossible to punish and spamming pets. This is all they have to show for a year? Why would I want to come back? I mean, sure, they got rid of the Battle Royale circle, and that's great, but it's not enough, and it really wasn't the real issue with the game. Which brings me to my next point. Over the last year and a half, Iron Mace has learned nothing. The game balancing is still completely schizophrenic. There is still constant changes back and forth of who is overpowered this month. It very strongly reminds me of when I used to play Smite. That's what this really is. They approach class balance like it's a MOBA, and the reality, folks, is that it isn't. Attempting to paint this game as a competitive game is laughable. It's not League of Legends, it's not Valorant, it's not even Arenas from World of Warcraft, and it never will be. The competitive angle has always been a joke to anyone outside of the little pond with little fish pretending to be big. If you're still listening, let me promise you this. No matter how long it's been since this video game came out, I can promise you this will be true. Rogue is either completely overpowered or completely irrelevant. That alone says everything. By the way, reminder, Iron Mace thought giving Caltrops charges was needed because hitting yourself while running in a straight line was overpowered. I'm only going to briefly touch on this next point. Iron Mace has a toxic relationship with its content creators. If you weren't in the know, changes to the game have been influenced by the opinions of content creators. Some of you playing today probably don't know about them coming to an unofficial top players Discord, then asking for what kind of changes they would like to see made to the game. That's just the tip of the iceberg, but I don't care much for putting this kind of drama on my channel. All I'm gonna say is the relationship between dev and streamer is far too close. I want to touch briefly on one other thing that I feel is bad for the game. The adventure point system was a good idea on paper, but who at Iron Mace thought it would be a good idea to make this game where you avoid PvP as much as possible? Player kills are rewarded so small and compared to farming brainless AI and looting. Watching people grind ranks in this game has to be the most mind-numbing thing I've ever seen, and I play old school Runescape. It's become dungeons of people politely staying out of each other's rooms. What has become of this game? DarkandDarker has suffered an identity crisis, and it's no longer the game I fell in love with in playtest 2. And that is truly sad. Before I end the video, I saved this for last, since I know most of you will have left by now. You know, attention spans and all of that. No Subway Surfers plus Family Guy on screen. It's far too hard to pay attention, you know? I want to express my disappointment in how Iron Mace handles cheaters. DarkandDarker has been rampant with cheating since the early playtests. As far as I can tell, little has been done to change that. Nor is Iron Mace's attitude toward cheaters changed in the slightest. Remember everyone, there are no cheaters in DarkandDarker.
There's no war in Ba Sing Se.